Om Shanti. Today I'll tell you a story. I might have shared it earlier, I don't remember, but this will give you a very good understanding of what Baba talks in the blessing today. So, there was this samurai once, and when he entered his room, it's a story, so you listen to it in the spirit of the story. It's not very logical, but so this samurai entered his room and found a mouse in the room, and he tried to go after the mouse and kill it with his sword, but the mouse was very quick, and he couldn't manage to get a hold of him and kill him. So then someone entered the room and they suggested, why are you laboring with this mouse? Just call a cat and the cat will do your work. So then he called up for a cat, and then a cat came, a cat was brought, and then that cat also was not able to catch hold of the mouse. It was very fast. And then one after the other, several cats were suggested. And then the cat that was most skilled in the whole kingdom, the cat that belonged to the king, was brought. And then that cat also couldn't catch the mice. And then again that cat was asked, so who do you suggest will be able to kill this mouse which you are unable to kill? Then the king's cat suggested that there is a wild cat in the jungle, and you call that wild cat, and that wild cat will be able to catch the mouse. So then they said, how will a wild cat do something that you, who are very trained for the job, can't do? And then the king's cat said, you just call the cat, she'll do the work. And then that cat was brought from the jungle, the wild cat, which just laid and ate and did nothing all day. And then that cat in a moment killed the mouse. And then while the cat was leaving, she was asked, how could you kill the mouse in 1 second, which others couldn't? So even the best trained cats couldn't do that, and you did it. So she said, I have never forgotten I am a cat, and when I am a cat, I can kill mouse. Okay, so this is something that Baba says today, that you are a soul and you are the child of Baba. Okay, so you only need to remember who you are. And Baba uses 2 words today, natural yogi and natural self-sovereign. And Baba says, Baba is my parent, so I don't need to, these days, and not only these days, for the last 2500 years, people have really tried hard to connect with God, to find God, to look for God, to search for God, or, sit for hours, weeks, months, years to find that connection. And Baba says, you are my child. Your only and most, the deepest and the closest connection you have is me. So you don't need to labor to connect to me. You are a yogi, you are a natural yogi, because your natural yoga is with Baba. But because you've forgotten you are a child, then all this problem starts arising. So that's why you're laboring for yoga. And then Baba says, you are Baba's child. And Baba, who is Baba? Baba is a soul who people say he changes the world and he transforms Kalyug to Satyug without a body. Yes, he just takes a body to speak, but all he radiates through that body is what is contained inside. And the body is just an instrument. Brahma Baba's body he takes, but that's just an instrument, and he just expresses whatever is contained within, and that changes the world. So Baba says, I am this powerful, yes, this ocean of knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power. And you are my child, and you are not dependent on the body. You are a natural self-sovereign. You also need to use the body just to express who you are. You don't have to be a slave of the body. Just like Baba is not a slave of the body he takes, I am not a slave of my body. So the body is just my instrument to express who I am and what part I have to play. And Baba says, once you just understand this one simple thing, that I am a child of who? The Almighty, the ocean. Then you automatically become the master of your senses, and you become a natural yogi. You don't have to labor to be a yogi. So let me read out the blessing and then I'll explain. Baba says, we are the children and the master of all the Father's treasures. So just like a balak is a malik, so Baba says a child is a malik always, yes. He's a child, but then he's a malik, yes. A chote malik, yes. So Baba says you are also chote malik. And Baba says you are a master. And I remember there was this sister, and she came and she said, Didi, my child doesn't get up from the dining table or anywhere he is sitting to get anything that he needs. If he needs something from the kitchen, he'll just call out the maid, and then she will bring things to him. So I said, have you tried it? So she said, yes. I told him, go and get some salt from the kitchen. And then he told, wait, why do I have to get up? Sunita, bring the salt. So he just ordered and the salt was brought. So, and then I told him, beta, this is not the way to do it. So he said, this is the way. We all call Sunita and she brings the salt. So that's the way it is in the house. And then I told her, so you have to change the way. So, the child is a total replica of you. So whatever you think you are entitled to, the child will also get the same message. So you start behaving less entitled and you start doing things on your own, and then probably the child will get the message that I also have to do some things on my own. So you see, the child has this intoxication that by virtue of being the child, I am a Malik. Yes, I am the master. So Baba says, why don't you just realize whose child you are? Yes, and Baba says that we are the children and the masters of all the Father's treasures. We are natural yogis and natural self-sovereigns. Our basic design is to be a self-sovereign, and self-sovereign means a ruler of the senses, of material comforts, everything. I am a ruler in this world. I am a ruler over matter, just like Baba is. And I'm a natural yogi. My natural connection is with Baba. I don't have to labor to meditate. As soon as I unplug my attention from here, I can feel Baba's presence and love and purity. Baba says, become filled with all attainments by having this awareness. This awareness itself is enough to be filled with all attainments. Constantly continue to sing the song, I have attained what I wanted to attain. Yes, so there should be only one song playing inside us. I have everything that I ever need. I have attained all that is ever there to attain. Do not play the game of losing and finding and losing. So Baba says, loss and gain, just rise above it. Play your part in the drama from this consciousness that there is nothing to lose and nothing to find. This is just a play. Yes? And in a play, the setting keeps changing continuously. So change is the only constant, and some things, someone, something will always keep changing. Yes, one person is there today, they will leave, someone else will come. There is something you have today that will leave, something else will replace it. But Baba says, don't create this sense, I lost and I found. So when something or someone leaves, you know it's natural for them to leave, and it doesn't mean you lost. When something or someone arrives, you don't feel you found something because there's nothing to find. You just have to keep operating with Baba all the time. Can you just visualize this state while we talk about it? Can you create this state mentally that I am in this stage where I have only one song playing inside me, that I have attained everything that is ever there to attain, and I do not play this game of losing and finding anymore. Yes, then what word do you use instead? So when someone comes, you say drama. When someone leaves, you say drama. When something comes, you say drama. When something leaves, you say drama. There is no other emotion, there is no other word you use. And drama means full stop. After you say it's drama, there is no question of kya, kyun, kaise. Okay, so Baba says, rise above this game of losing and finding. I am attaining are not the words of those who have a right. So Baba says you are already full. You don't say I felt, I experienced, sometimes even when you meditate, you say today I had a good experience. Yesterday I didn't have a good experience. Baba says there's nothing to attain. You are always full. You just sit with Baba because the relationship with you and Baba is that of a child and a parent. So when you sit with your parent, you don't say, I got something today. Today I didn't feel good. Today my father told me something great. Yesterday he was not so accurate in his behavior. Yes, you just sit with your parent. That's it. So Baba says, those who are the children of the Father who is full, the children of the ocean, do not have to work hard like servants. So Baba says, you are not sannyasis who are looking for God. You are the child of Baba. So you don't have to labor for peace or happiness or for anything. Okay, for even finding God. God belongs to you. So this is something that Baba says, and today's Murli is very fantastic, and I want you to look at it in this light that I love this quotation very much, which says, the truth is stranger than the fiction. Truth is stranger than fiction. Yes, so, and the thing is, you can see fiction, so you enjoy it, but you are one with So, the truth remains hidden, so you're not able to enjoy it very much. And now that we know the truth, when you realize the truth, it is more astounding than all the work of fiction you've ever heard or seen. And these days people have a lot of fascination with mythology. So even big filmmakers make movies based on mythology. Yes, so they want to recreate mythology and they want to put that on the bigger canvas. Why? Because whatever has been depicted in mythology is very fascinating. Yes, and it looks like the strangest possible events that could happen. But do you realize that Baba says that all the mythological scriptures are based on what is happening right now? So everything you hear or read in the scriptures is a narration of what is happening right now. The role that we souls and Baba are playing together has been depicted as characters and events in mythology. And Baba says, if you were to open your eyes and see what's really going on right now, that is more fascinating than anything you've ever seen or read or heard. And today Baba says that this whole play, look at this whole play. This whole play is just like, this, you have the cycle of darkness and light in the world. So there is a dawn, there is a day, there is a noon, and then there is a night. So, a subeh, dopahar, sham, raat. So you have a morning, you have an afternoon, you have an evening, and you have a night. And Baba says this play is also like that. And just like there is the sun, which and the movement of the sun, the position of the sun determines what part of the day you are in. Similarly, Baba says, I am the sun of knowledge. And when I come, it is morning. And then slowly, as you get further and further from me, so when you come into the cycle, you become more and more body conscious. And as you become more body conscious, you are away from me. And as you get away from me, this morning transitions into afternoon, evening, and night. And then again after the night, I come and then I light up you and the world, and then it is again morning, it is again Satyug. So this is how the whole play is. And Baba says, you are the ones who live the whole play. So, and it is very interesting how we children are once worthy of worship. We are deities. And then birth after birth after birth, we come to a place in our consciousness where we start worshipping ourselves. We are worshipping our own pictures. Just think about it. You've never even seen a movie so fascinating where someone forgets himself and starts worshipping their own pictures from a different time. So Baba says, look at the reality of how this play is played out. And you are the ones who were the worthy of worship deities. And birth after birth after birth, you forget everything. You even change the name of the religion you belong to. You change the name of the land you lived in. So Bharat changes to Hindustan, Yes, you forget you are deities and you start calling yourself Hindus. And then Baba says all this starts happening and then you completely forget who you are. And then you start laboring for those same things which you had a right over. So just by knowing you are a soul and the child of the Supreme Soul, you had a right to peace, knowledge, happiness, everything. And see, you have become beggars by forgetting who you are. And this is such an interesting drama. Just think about it. The truth is indeed stranger than fiction. And Baba says that just look around how Maya has darkened your intellect, and your intellect has become so colored with Maya that you don't even realize who is your enemy or who is your friend. And I remember there was this one person and he told me about some scientific novel or something he read, and he told me that in that work it was written that there will be a time when machines will convince humanity. Machines will enslave humanity and give humanity the programming. So humans will be programmed by machines that everything is okay. And then machines will start ruling while humans will only start thinking that everything is okay. Okay, so humans will not resist the overtaking of machines because the machines will program human beings that everything is okay. So human beings will not try to save themselves from the machines because they don't know that the machine is the problem. The machines have programmed humans that everything is fine, so you don't need to take care of anything. So, and I was just thinking while that brother was narrating this, that this is exactly what Maya has done. We don't even need machines for that. Maya is telling us, so you see, Maya has convinced every individual that the problem is with others. The problem is with others. And we don't need to do anything about the problem. The world has to change. So everybody says the world has become bad. The world has become problematic. There is problem in the world. But nobody knows that I am the problem. And the thought, word, and action I am doing is the problem. And then in that also, particularly lust is the problem. So very difficult for the human intellect to understand that lust is what is robbing me of my energy. And you don't recognize lust to be the problem. So Maya has convinced that lust is something that's natural, that's good, that's right. And then we don't understand that lust is the problem and we need to do away with lust and win over our senses. And people think that, when Baba brings out this truth for us, that it is lust that is robbing you of your spiritual energy, that is making you spiritually weak, making your intellect, your sanskars, everything go downhill. We are not convinced, and it takes a lot of time to embrace purity. Yes, and Baba says that this is how the intellect has been shrouded by Maya. And we have been made so insensible that we use all our faculties. We use our man, buddhi, sanskar, and every organ of the body to create trouble for us. Yes, we are using every sense organ and every spiritual organ. Spiritual organ is man, buddhi, and sanskar, and we are using all of them to deplete our energy by engaging in lustful angry, yes, vicious thinking. And lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. These are the 5 vices dominating us. And our mind is under its sway, our intellect is under its sway. So the intellect, which had to discern what is good and bad, has been shrouded by Maya and convinced that this is good, this is right. So our own intellect is not allowing us to make the right choice. And then our sanskars also are working against us. And through our own thought, word, and action, we are creating Kali-yuga more and more every day. So Baba says, just think about the truth. And the truth is so fascinating that you children who were worthy of worship have now become worshippers, and you are begging and seeking and beseeching for the same things that you are the masters of. And Baba says, and Maya is not letting you, pull away from its control, and you are not willing to give up lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. Yes. So are you under the sway of Maya, or has the sun of knowledge started to shine some light and we are able to see where the problem lies? And it is amazing when you think about how Maya does its work and how Maya just enslaves our buddhi and starts making us do these things. Now I'll read out what Baba says. Baba says, Ravan has completely locked everyone's intellect. Everyone's intellect is completely dead. The father explains, the people of Bharat had the most unlimited intellects. What is unlimited intellect? When you know who you are and you know your virtues and powers, then one soul is so powerful as to not only rule over the body but the whole world. So one soul is capable of taking care of everyone in the world, and it depends on the buddhi. And when the buddhi starts saying that I need and I want and I don't have enough, then the whole world is not enough to convince that one soul that you're okay. So it is everything to do with the buddhi. And you see that sometimes I think that Baba says that in Satyug, the king and the queen will behave like parents to all subjects. Yes, everyone in the kingdom will feel that this king and queen are my parents. Now you see, one soul has enough love to give to every subject in the kingdom. And the whole world is the kingdom. And the king and the queen will feel I'm the parent of so many children. And they will be able to nurture and sustain every child and every organism and every element of matter with love. And how do you access so much love in you? By knowing who you are. Yes, when you know that I am the king and queen and I am the one who is capable of giving so much love, then this consciousness gives you the attitude to be so loving to everyone. And here, the consciousness with which we are operating is, I'm weak, I don't have enough love, I'm here to take. And this is why the whole world is not enough to quench our thirst. So the thirst within us, the thirst for peace or happiness is not fulfilled even if the whole world is available to us. Because our consciousness has become that I'm a beggar, I want, I seek. Yes, so Baba says, I am turning that around now. I am telling you, you realize who you are, whose child you are, and how fulfilled you are. And once you realize that, you start giving, and in giving, your gifts will start multiplying. So this whole thing that Maya has convinced us of and brought us to this place where we think we are takers and we have been sent as takers, not as givers, is marvelous. Yes. And Baba says that everyone's intellect is completely dead. The father explains the people of Bharat had the most unlimited intellects. It is when their intellects completely turn to stone, that is, you become completely material conscious. Yes, when you think that what you have and what you do is what defines you, then you experience sorrow. So it is your intellect which starts working against you. Yes. So Baba says, according to the drama plan, everyone has to become senseless. But Baba says, yes, this is how the movie is designed. So this is the plot. So everyone has to become senseless according to the drama plan. It is Maya that makes you senseless. Those who are worthy of worship are said to be sensible, whereas worshippers are said to be senseless. Yes, so when we forget who we are and start worshipping our own image, that's senseless. Yes, a child goes to the temple and puts a picture of himself in front of him and tells it to, give the strength to pass the exam. And says the picture will make me pass the exam. How senseless is that? And you try convincing the child that it's you who has to pass the exam. And he keeps saying, no, the picture will give me the blessing and I will pass the exam. So you give all your power to your previous image. And then you start singing the song inside that I'm helpless, I'm powerless, what can I do? Yes, I'm just a small creature, I'm a speck of dirt. You start saying this thing to yourself, and then you have given away all your power to a picture. And Baba says this is the senseless behavior that we engage in. And Baba says, those who are worthy of worship are said to be sensible, whereas worshippers are said to be senseless. They say, I am a degraded sinner. However, they don't know when they were sensible. So Baba says, yes, in Bhakti we sing this song, we are degraded sinners, Neech Papi. Yes, so Baba says, when you say that to yourself, you completely forget how great and pure and powerful you are. Okay, so this is something that Baba tells us. Now do you understand? You are part of this, yes, you're part of this fantastic movie and drama, and now you have to realize yourself, come back to your power. And every day, what do we do in meditation? We sit in self-realization and the realization that I am Baba's child and the realization that I am the instrument to create a new world. I don't have to wait, I have to create. People are waiting that someone will come and solve the world's problems. And Baba says, I am reminding you that you are the one everyone is waiting for. So you don't wait anymore. You start creating a new world. Because everything is being created through your thought, word, and action. And before thought, there is consciousness and attitude. So once you shift your consciousness of who you are and whose child you are, your attitude starts shifting from a taker to a giver, and then your thoughts, word, and action will follow. So the whole challenge is to start changing our consciousness every day. So when you sit in yoga, you don't sit like a beggar. Sometimes, Even when we sit in yoga, Baba is giving me peace, Baba is giving me purity. No, I am the child. I'm just like Baba. It will take 1 second. Baba today says it takes a snap of your finger to take the inheritance. So, in 1 second, you realize who you are and you stop begging and start giving. And when you start giving, you start coming back to your power, because whatever you do n number of times will become your sanskar. So, when you start giving, you will start becoming a deity slowly. So, this giving is the door to create the deity sanskar. And when you start doing that, you will come back to your power. So, Baba says this thing today. And then Baba says, to gain victory over the suffering of karma with the power of yoga is elevated effort. So, suffering of karma. So, when we were actually under the illusion of Maya, we did a lot of vikarma, yes, and all those vikarm that we did will come back to us to face, to cross, and though that vikarma comes majorly in 3 forms. In the form of illness in the body, in the form of difficult relationships, and in the form of difficult situations, maybe legal, financial, whatever. So, difficult situations, difficult relationships, unfavorable people around you, and then the body, illness of the body. So, these are the ways in which vikarma comes to us. And Baba says, you have to gain victory over the suffering of karma through the power of yoga. So, when there is an illness, how do you cross that illness? By detaching from the body. Yes, and how do you detach from the body? The more you are in love with Baba, the more you will be able to detach from the body and stay in this loveful connection with Baba. But you cannot practice at the time of the exam. So when there is the illness, you should be in a position where you have practiced being so much in soul consciousness and in remembrance of Baba, loving remembrance of Baba, that even in times of physical illness, when the pain is pulling your body, yes, the pain is pulling your attention towards the body, you are able to keep your attention towards Baba and experience the love of Baba. And you are also able to give that love to the body so that it heals itself better and faster. Yes, so this is, you are the conduit between Baba and the body. And if you are detached from the body, you will be able to bring Baba's love and power to the body also. But you have to accumulate enough power of yoga beforehand to be able to do that when the body is going through a karmic settlement. Yes, and Janki Dadiji was a very good example of this. And I don't know how many of you know, but Dadi had many settlement of physical exams since the 80s. So for almost 40 years or 45 years, Dadi gave many papers of physical examination. So there were many things in the body that came up many times. And then Dadi used to just sit relaxed or lay down and be in Baba's remembrance. And for 1 day, 2 days together, Dadi used to just lay down and be in Baba's remembrance. And then when somebody asked, Dadi, what are you doing? So Dadi used to say, I am waiting for the illness to leave. Yes. And while waiting, she was doing it with Baba. So Baba says that whenever there is such a paper of the body, you settle it with power of yoga. And then when there are difficult relationships also, so if there is the settlement of karma, then you will have people who might engage in behaviors that is very difficult and uncomfortable. But then you must have experienced that there are some situations in which you are stuck with such people and there is no way you can leave. Yes, you have to be there. And then in those situations also, you have to use your power of tolerance so that you don't start shifting from your place of peace while being there. Yes, maybe there is somebody who is suffering from bad mental illness and you are the only one taking care of them and you can't leave. And then that person's behavior is, something that causes you a lot of sorrow or it has a tendency to upset you. But what you have to do is use your power to tolerate enough. And how will you get that? When you are able to do everything that you need to do in remembrance of Baba. But you cannot, again, you cannot practice in the time of exam. So you should have accumulated the power of such loving remembrance beforehand. Okay, Om Shanti.